All right. What's up, friends? We're back here at the Mix Academy with my man Dominic Jordan's Above Worship, All Things New as a Song. And today we're taking a look at the acoustic guitars, the electric guitars. We can get to them, and we'll let you hear what you're working with, and we'll talk about the processing.
You make all things new. God, you make all things new. You make all.
Awesome. We've been featuring this song off and on for quite a while. We did a mix contest around this late last year. So if you want to get your hands on the multi-tracks, we put that links in order to get all that in the description. But today we're looking at the acoustics, and really this song was a demo that was sent to us. And we just had some fun with it. We did a mix contest and featured the breakdowns for the different mix processing. And we're up to the acoustic guitars. This will be live here on YouTube for a little bit, and then we're going to pull it down, and it'll be exclusive into the Mix Academy's control room. It's my membership where we're mixing songs start to finish, get the full process behind the scenes, the drum samples, all of the goodness. It's down there. And then also, if you haven't checked it out, the Headphone Mixing Blueprint is my complete guide to show you my rig, how I'm using headphones to mix multi-platinum records, and all of that is down in the description for you. Free calibration, presets, all kinds of goodness in there. And with that, we're looking at the acoustic guitars. Let's go ahead and turn off all the processing, all the automation, and then we'll come back and look at every bit. And I tell you what, let's go to a better part. This acoustic enters, and not a terrible recording capture. Sounds like a good quality acoustic, but is a little bit high, upper mid-rangey, and very dynamic. And so wanting to get those strums and get everything even, lots of compression, some pretty aggressive EQ, and then putting the acoustics into a space. And then we got some cool automation stuff that I'll show you here towards the end, if we can get to it before moving on to the electrics. So here's the raw acoustic at the intro. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and... Okay, so again, not a terrible capture. You can see I did some editing. It came in. The song was all just raw. And so really taking the time, it was calling for that radio-ready vibe, that polished streaming quality. And so you got to have editing. And so going through, making sure they're all at a good spot. That was the first task. And then for me, that mid-range was not pleasant, but I still wanted it to serve a percussive role in the song. And so boosting top end, but then really managing 2 to 5K here. I used to say 3 to 5K. It even gets into 2 on some things for me. A bit finicky in that range. And then competing with the vocal 1K, always looking, do I need to dip or control things in 800 hertz to 2K to make sure it doesn't compete with the vocal. So we got some moves going on there at first. More so in the realm of, if I recorded it, what would I have wanted to hear from it? And we're listening in solo, but let's take a listen and then we'll compare it in the track. So we're headed in a direction of more polished, pristine, and instead of folk singer-songwriter, mid-rangey, we're going more full-bodied, but mostly top-end. Mostly serving like a shaker, a complementary shaker, I think, is on the left on this one. This one over on the right creates a nice stereo bit of movement. And so I'm actually driving that top end. It doesn't sound good the way that it was. I'm driving it into an 1176 and the series of compression so that we can get that top end but control it. And so next up, we've got the 1176. I don't remember hitting this very hard on this one. I don't know where that distortion... Oh, there we go. I had it up plus 12 dB. That's where the distortion came from. Let's hear it. We're splitting hairs here. We're tapping it. Let's go to the LA3 where I tend to get a little more aggressive. Let's see what's up. Now we're getting a little more of that over-compressed vibe, and it's not really over-compressed. So I was more gentle with the LA3 here, and I can hear why. Getting some of the artifacts, but we still got to go a little bit further with it. We'll come back to it with compression. But EQ, still not happy with the top end. And so I'm chasing the sound at this point. and working my way through it, pulled back a ton of the mid-range and the top end, and then now kind of going back to some of that. So it's trial and error, feeling it out. Let's see what this one sounds like. Yeah. We're figuring it out. We're trying to figure it out. It's a little warmer, and I dig that. We definitely need more compression and more control on the top end. And go ahead. Okay, and then finally, we're going to lock it in with another CLA. Yep. And now we'll add our delay and our room back, and you can hear some of the space we were creating. Right on. And then in the track, you'll hear the difference. It's going to disappear a little bit. We'll boost it up. The raw here.
I had a problem, God had a plan, so I'll trust the works of your hands.
And it's that right acoustic that we're listening for. We put this stuff on, got a little more character. Let's hear how this sounds.
I had a problem, God had a plan, so I'll trust the works of your hands. You may go.
Awesome. So it's bright, it's not perfect, but it's controlled, it's in the mix, sounds a lot more modern, and we did it in stages. Not the prettiest, workflow to get there, but for that one, let's talk about some of this processing here. You saw the preset, you can check that out. I'm moving quick when I'm mixing this one, and it was a demo, just doing it for fun, and so this Valhalla thrown right on the track, trying to get results quickly, and then the vocal room I found. Let's go back here. I've been using that for probably a year or so now. If I go to my vocal effects, we'll walk you through exactly what this is. We have a compressor, followed by Valhalla room, followed by a de-esser, followed by an EQ to make sure that range doesn't get out of hand. And that shapes the vocal and the piano, and a few things are going to that vocal room. And that makes up that one sound. Now, here's the thing with acoustics. That one sound is not the sound of all the different sections. And so often what I'll do, I had one acoustic guitar track given to me. I duplicated it twice and then broke out the intro, the breakdown, the hook acoustic guitars, the chorus, and then the verse strumming. And so they all have slightly different character depending upon what they're contributing to the song. And we looked at this yesterday with the bass, where we were taking out low end of the bass in the verses so that when the chorus hit, everything came back in and just massive low end, right? Same thing can be true with acoustics. You may want to shape the intro strums to be brighter or darker. You may want the verses to play a lesser role, and so you may balance them differently, or you may affect them differently. For us out here, we had the bridge where I muted, or not the bridge, but the breakdown here. I muted the delay and the room.
You make all things new. God, you make all things new.
So we get kind of a hybrid sound there. It's kind of modulating and whatever. And again, I'm not super thrilled with these sounds, but if you can think about the concept of breaking them apart and doing something with them different so that they complement what they're adding to the song at the different sections, that's a good lesson, I think, from what we have here. So demo acoustic, moving on. What did we acoustic in the hook? Let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so the chorus acoustic is the same track that was sent to me, just strummed harder. Very different sound. We'll throw that to the... Yeah, and so for here, I'm going for that fake stereo vibe where we've got real ADT doing some work for us. I use this almost every session on a vocal, or I love to use it on acoustics, but 2 guitars are better than 1 is the preset. And It's giving us a Haas effect, just that fake double and making things sound modulated at the same time. So a kind of chorusing meets fake stereo thing happening to make that acoustic seem wide and like it takes over. So that's basically the only thing I did there. What did we automate here? Command Control click, and let's go find the automation for this. It's just at the end, and it looks like we doled it out. We had maybe some click bleed or top end fizz going on. Let's check this out at the end of the track. And then without it, we would get more white noise, right? So cool, it's serving a purpose, and now you know what we did. Let's go back over to this guy, the verse strums, probably that similar stuff, just a more mild version of warmer.
All that you wanted was me. I couldn't see you.
That one's turned down, not in the same. So anyways, we're automating through our tracks and doing different things, but that's the acoustic land. Let's come down. Let's take a look at this electric. Same thing with the electric. We were given one stereo electric guitar. I chose to break it out into 2 tracks and make it mono, and then use stereo effects. It depends on the capture. If I'm sent stereo electric guitars and there's, they've got their delays moving left, right, or reverb has really got great character, then I'm going to leave it. I'm going to keep it if it's a good capture. If it's not completely soaked and making it sound terrible. If it sounds bad, then I'm going to see what can I do to improve it. And that's where we're not keeping stereo, sending to other effects and that kind of stuff. So guitarist is trying to get the best sound typically for the guitar, and the mixer, we're coming in and trying to make the best decisions for the full thing, kind of the last resort decisions in that regard. And so arrangement and stuff like that, I'm very aggressive when I mix and make sure that give my clients the best results. And that's where I think with the electric here, breaking it out was the right call instead of keeping the stereo nonsense. So looking at this, we got 1176. Let's hear the raw first of this part. Yeah, and then being out of time, we fixed that. You can see we put that on the grid. Now let's hear it with the processing. Yeah, so we got compression, 8-to-1 ratio, a little bit more aggressive on that. Just handling peaks. And then taming 1K and up there around 4.5, 5K. We're really pulling back and cleaning that up so it's not as whiny at us. And then we've got a delay. I've got a slap left and a slap right in my template. And that's to, if I pan something less, if I pan something left, old CLA trick, use a slap right, pull that in a little bit, and you get kind of this thing happening. Create some space. It's a cool effect, and I use it often on background vocals and electric guitars. And let's see what we get with that. Here's off one more time. And with it, and it just gives it a little bit of life, so it's not bugging only your left ear. It's kind of got a stereo element to it. And then with the delay, helps smooth it out even more. Galloping along there. And we've got the Valhalla delay. This is my favorite delay. Dotted eighth. Usually I used to do dotted eighth on the left. No, I didn't. I did an eighth on the left, dotted eighth on the right. But I found this quarter note on the left, dotted eighth on the right. It's really smooth, and I dig that as well. You can see those settings. I use it almost every mix. I'm dialing this in and then EQing and putting stuff on the back end. It looks like we warmed it up a bit, took out some of the top end, and Yeah, that would be too aggressive. And so we're adding some character underneath, taking out top, taking out mids, making that feel pretty good. Let's hear what it contributes to the beginning here.
Me, when I had a problem, God had a plan. So I'll trust the works of your hands. You may go.
And then we're killing the noise. We're automating that down right there before the one of the chorus. And let's check out this next electric guitar. Cool. A little bit out of tune, but we'll ignore that. It was a demo sent to us. We're just going to keep moving through it, and let's see what we came up with here. So first up, what do we do? The same thing? What's the EQ doing? I got a little more aggressive with the EQ. Okay, so let's check this out with no processing. So starting out, the rakes are very inconsistent. So if you're recording, man, let's break those out. Go one at a time if you have to, and just focus on those. This was just a quick record. They sent it to me, but if I'm producing these guys, I'm saying, hey, this isn't ready for mixing. And I'm going in and I'm saying, we got to get these layers right. We got to record this. Here's some ideas, tricks, tips, things like that, and going at that. But we didn't have that luxury, and our job is to make it sound better. And that's what we aim to do. So the first thing, let's rein in those dynamics so that one's not soft, and then a hard rake, and then here, be a little bit more controlled. It's still not going to sound as good as if we re-recorded it, but we're going to be able to work that out and even it out a bit with a couple layers of compression. So here's the first one. And remember, that's with no EQ, just straight from what they sent us. And so we're already evening that out quite a bit more. One more time without it. You can tell that one really comes in. Yeah, so it's more consistent. It could be better. And next up, we're looking at warming that baby up. So we've got the upper mid-range, 4 or 5K or so. We've got quite a bit coming down around 3. And I had a vision for what I wanted this to sound like, not bright and harsh. And this is most likely going to accomplish that. Let's hear it. Without it. Now, that might work for a different song and be completely fine, but at this section, let's come back in context here.
All things new. God, you make all things new. You make all things new. God, you make all things new.
That to me has got the texture that I'm after, the warmth. It's not sticking out, nothing that's like an eyesore that's going to take our eyes off the vocal, and that's where we went with it. And then next up, we got the CLA 76. Again, I told you guys in the last video I'm rocking the crap out of this thing. I'm not lying. We've got the mix knob. We're working on this part, and we got about 40% of it in, but faster attack, fastest release though, it's still a fast release. And 8-1. So we're hitting it pretty good, and we're locking it in. Let's hear it in solo. All right. And hey, real quick interruption. We got my man Terrell Jones. We've got Rico, my brother. I love you, man. Musictron, you guys hanging out. So grateful to have you. The trial to MIXPrep, Dr. Terrell. I'm making sure that it's right for you before we release that. So we got probably next week before the free trial to MIXPrep is going to be ready. But man, I'm so excited about that. You can take your first 60 to 90 minutes of the MIXPrep session, well, the mixing session, and strip your, this is going to do it for you. So you're going to organize your tracks, put them in the order you want. You can define that in the preferences. Drums, I've got it all set up. I'm an old Dave Pensado. Drums, bass, acoustics, electrics, keys, synths, all that. You guys can set your own order, but then it's going to take the non-true stereo files, convert them to mono for you. If it's dual mono, you can choose in the settings how that threshold. But I've got it dialed in the way that I've been mixing for 15, 20 years now, and it's sweet. So definitely check out the links. It's going to clean those up for you, prep them, and then now we're directly injecting them into Pro Tools. So all kinds of good stuff there with other DAWs in the works. Right now it works for all DAWs, but the direct inject is Pro Tools only. So anyways, check that out, link in the description. Back to these guitars. So we have the 1176 in parallel, just squashing that. And here's the thing, let's check it in context because that's where it matters. Let's go out here maybe to this where it comes in a little bit more aggressive here.
Make all things new. Got you.
Yeah, it's just not doing it for me at that level. And then we put in our extra compression and some effects. Let's hear it in solo one more.
God you make, God you make, God you make all things new.
So for a demo, man, it's not bad. They're doing their thing. I would definitely arrange this and stage it and get some different tones in here. But for what they sent, we've got it sitting, and it's certainly filling out the music on the left side nicely, contributing. And with that was the electric guitars. Now, I did send it to a bus. I had another one, and I chose not to use it in the song. But I had some more EQ, and go figure, we're making room for the vocal and controlling that upper mid-range there, making sure it doesn't get away from us. Is there anything else that I didn't show for the guitars? We got the Valhalla I think I showed. I don't know. If you guys have any questions that are hanging out with me, man, feel free to lay them on me. But other than that, the next stage for these acoustics and electrics would be they hit the all music bus, which we showed in the very first video in this series. You can go back and check it out. But we've got some things happening here, and so they're going to be affected by our VMR is getting the virtual mix bus. I hammered that thing. You can see it.
So your hands, you make all things new. God, you make all.
Yeah, and so the guitars, keys, synths, all that stuff's hitting the virtual mix bus here on the all music bus, and it's often hit quite a bit harder than that. I'll redline it, have it blinking at me, pinned red, as long as I don't hear any distortion. I really like the way that levels things out. It sounds really good. And then we've got the Ozone 12 imager. I thought it needed more width, and so here you go. We got 40%. And then often I'll have another instance of the Ozone imager, and then at the chorus, I'll bypass it on or turn the bypass off and unleash another additional whatever percent at the chorus and then turn it back off for the verses. We also got the Pro MB. I've been doing this for a while now and making a lot more room for kick, even snare, and toms. On this song, I think I only did the kick drum to push it down. But here I did use track spacer for the toms. So let's talk about this. This will be a good one to add as a bonus tip here at the end of the guitars video. So kick, bass, sidechain compression. If you got the bass, you got a lot of low end, you want a lot of low end in your kick and your bass, put a little side chain, you can push the bass down whenever the kick hits, and you're going to get that nice punchy, immediate low end from the kick, but the bass can then come back in quickly and swell up and sustain, and you got a beautiful married relationship there between the kick and the bass. Well, what happens when you have music tracks, they're full, they need a little bit of push too, especially with the click and the kick, the upper mid-range here. I've got this dialed in so that whenever the kick hits, it's actually the kick click track, it's going to push down the music bus. So guitars, keys, synths, all of that are just getting that little nudge out of the way. I'll show you how we're also doing the toms here in a second, but let's hear it and see if you can feel it.
So your hands, you make all things new. God, you make all things new. You make all things you make all things new. God, you make, God, you make, God, you make all things new. God, you make.
I'll tell you what, it may come across as subtle if you're not really, but man, I definitely can tell that this is pushing and allowing that transient to just, it wins every time, just that extra little bit to make sure that it sits on top. And then let's look at for the toms, because I use track spacer, and I'm pulling the toms and pushing down the music bus below, what is this? 2.68K. And so any times the toms, I stop slurring my speech here. Let's come back to these couple of hits. Yeah, so like this fill here.
It's the mighty works of your hands, you make all things.
Yep. Watch when we turn this off, you're going to be...
All things new.
Do you hear that? I think it was... Man, was it a Sean Moffat mix or someone I was listening to, and it just felt like the toms cut through in a way. I was like, man, I just got to push everything out of the way and let the toms win the battle. I don't know if that's what he did or if he automated, but for me, track spacer does the job. Let's hear it one more time with it since I interrupted the before and after.
All things new.
And then with it bypassed.
All things new.
Just, it feels muddy and it doesn't feel as defined on that upper mid-range there. I like that that's helping it cut through.
All things new.
Let's see if I'm being fooled by it, right? Am I fooling myself? Let's go and loop it. Hey man, it's working. Now, you want to hear this? 22%. Let's hear it in action big time. I know you're feeling that. So I might even use a little more of that. I really like that. So toms pushing down the music bus, kick pushing down the music bus, making sure that they win that transient battle. And then something else we did on this one was a little bit different. I added the Oxford inflator, and I was having to go with this, and I really like what it did for this song. If you're going for that radio ready, blossomed, low LUFS, this can be a game changer for you on the buses. And then I don't know if I did it on the... I think I started trying to use it on the 2 bus, but it was a mix I'd already built. And so I went back and used it on the buses in varying degrees. Man, have a play with it. It's a good time. So there we go. Obviously, the bus processing is affecting the guitars as well. We broke that down in, I think, the first video with the template. But there you have it. Acoustics Electrics. This is by no means the mixing acoustics or electric guitars for dummies, full start to finish. But some thoughts, some concepts, hopefully that helps you, breaking them out, treating them differently, showing the different sections of the song with the respect that it deserves. And man, if you haven't already, check out that Headphone Mixing Blueprint. I'm going to take you step by step through my frequency-focused referencing techniques. The number one thing I teach people all the time, try to tell that, like, just shout it from the rooftops. It changed my life with mixing, built me a professional mixing career, multi-platinum mixer with billions of streams. I think we're up to 8 or 9, thanks mostly to Reddy Mitos. He's a beast, but all kinds of artists we worked with and done great things with. So check that out, walk you through everything I'm doing there, and look forward to seeing you the next time we come together, possibly tomorrow. We're going to break down the keys, the scents, and the pads, and who knows, maybe we'll do another one. We'll go into the backgrounds, show you how I layered these, thought about using Automate, ended up not. We'll talk about how, why, all that good stuff. Drop a like if you haven't already. Check out those links. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.